We're going to begin Tesvav. Tesvav Amud Aleph. We learned in the Mishnah that someone that shechs on Shabbos or on Yom Kippur, even though he's guilty, kares, or whatever it is, but nevertheless the shechita is kosher. He shechted on Shabbos and Yom Kippur, the shechita is kosher. So the students of Rav, or Chia Barav, said in the name of Rav that you can't eat it on that day. And the Bnei Yeshiva said, oh, that's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. So yesterday we went through several opinions of Rabbi Yehuda to try to find which Rabbi Yehuda would be, not which person, which opinion of Rabbi Yehuda would be that would be telling us that it's forbidden to eat meat that's shechted on Shabbos, for that on Shabbos. After Shabbos, the Mishnah says it's permissible to eat, but nevertheless on the day itself it would be forbidden. So every time we quoted Rabbi Yehuda, we said, well, maybe that's not a real proof because it's not a good comparison. So finally, El Amar Rav Ashi. This is 3 lines from the top on 15a. Rather, Rav Ashi says, Rabbi Yehuda de Mevashali. It's Rabbi Yehuda from cooking. It's a rather famous Mishnah. It's quoted often. It's in Shulchan Aruch as well. It's very interesting. The Tanan. It was taught in a Mishnah, by the way. Today we're going to be discussing the someone that does a malacha on Shabbos, if it's forbidden to have benefits from it. Then afterwards we'll discuss shechita knives that are attached to the ground. So if someone cooks on Shabbos, b'shoigig is unintentionally. Means maybe he didn't know that it was Shabbos, maybe he didn't know that it wasn't cooked already, maybe he didn't know the fire was on. No, that would be more misasik. He didn't know it was Shabbos, or he forgot it was Shabbos. So yoichal, he's allowed to eat it. B'meisid, but if he intentionally puts his food on the fire, cooks it, then lo yoichal, then he's not allowed to eat it. Div Reb Meir. That's the opinion of Reb Meir. Now, what does it mean lo yoichal according to Reb Meir? He's not allowed to eat it on Shabbos. And after Shabbos, he has to wait an amount of time called B'chdei Sheyasu. The reason for Reb Meir is that if he did a malacha on Shabbos, b'mezid, then he shouldn't be allowed to have benefit from it. If he did it b'shoigeg, that's not considered that he did the malacha. If he did it b'mezid, he shouldn't be allowed to have benefits. You have to wait the amount of time after Shabbos that would have taken to do this malacha. That way it's not considered benefit. Otherwise you're saving time by cooking it on Shabbos. You follow? They have this issue. We're talking about a Jew that cooks, but they have this issue with pizza shops. That people want pizza right away when it's Shabbos. So you can get you're not allowed to, but let's say they would get goyim to go in and get it started, even though they're not allowed to do that. But if it would be allowed, if a guy does work on Shabbos, to have it right away after Shabbos, then they would be benefiting by having their store ready right after Shabbos.
How do you get started without the mashkiach lighting the...
Well, let's say there's a pilot that was lit before or whatever.
They work the dough or something.
Yeah, they can do other stuff,
okay.
Which is also malachas.
When somebody brings you like a bottle of wine that you're invited them and that they're driving. Are you allowed to have the...
That's usually not a problem unless you're sure that it's coming from out of the tchum. Out of the tchum, I mean they're coming from a different city. It's not a problem.
What if a Yid comes to your house for Shabbos, Yom Tov, Mitzvah Yid, whatever, and he brings a bottle of wine? Could you use that bottle of wine?
It's usually not a problem. Unless they're coming from out of the tchum.
They're coming. What do you mean? They're coming from West Palm Beach. Right?
Oh, so that could be that's a problem. It's out of the tchum.
The wine is not allowed forever.
No. Until after Shabbos. It's like mail. Mail is better. Mail was in the post office probably already from Shabbos. So mail comes. Sometimes you have problems with opening up tape, but But it's something you're allowed to move the mail, look at the mail, as long as it's not muktzah thing. Because it was probably here already.
So for sure,
Friday night.
Them bringing the wine as b'shogeg. So after Shabbos, you can use.
Right. We'll see how we're gonna.
Can you offer them the wine, but say, "I'm sorry, I can't drink"?
Oh, that's even more.
Why?
Yeah.
No, you open up the bottle, you pour it out.
What do you say? You don't matter.
Wine. They're also yid.
It's their wine.
Okay. They're a yid. They're not supposed to drink that wine. They weren't supposed to drive in the first place.
Okay, so far.
They closed down the bakery in Washington, D.C.
We'll lose the
After
the share.
Okay, so far we only did the opinion of Reb Meir, which is the lenient opinion. He says that the shogeg you can eat it on Shabbos, the mezid you can't eat it on Shabbos, and you have to wait till after Shabbos. Oh, by the way, Reb Meir is only referring to not only the person that cooked, but also everyone else. It has to wait till after Shabbos. Okay. Because otherwise there's benefit from the Issa. Rabbi Yehuda says, B'shogeg yoichal b'motzei Shabbos. Even b'shogeg, you have to wait till after Shabbos. If you want to remember this, or to clarify this, we're going to have three opinions. We have Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Yochanan HaSandler. The Rabbi Meir's opinion of mezid, intentional, becomes the stricter opinion by shogeg, becomes Rabbi Yehuda's opinion by shogeg. Rabbi Yehuda's opinion by mezid becomes the stricter opinion of Rabbi Yochanan HaSandler by shogeg. So it's really in steps. It's working. If you have a graph, you would see steps how it's working its way. That Reb Meir is lenient by shogeg, that no one is like that. But Reb Meir's opinion by mezid is exactly the same opinion as Rabbi Yehuda by shogeg. Rabbi Yehuda's opinion by mezid is exactly Rabbi Yochanan HaSandler's opinion by shogeg. It's steps. So Rabbi Yehuda says that after Shabbos, if it's b'shogeg, you can eat it. He's referring to everyone, just like Reb Meir. B'mezid lo yochel olamas. But if it's done b'mezid, you can never eat it. Who can never eat it? Only the person that did it. Other people would be allowed to eat it. Why? What's the reason for this? Is because this is a knas. You made it did an aveira b'mezid. You're never allowed to have any benefit from it. Other people didn't do the aveira. Right here, we now have an explanation for our Mishnah. Our Mishnah said that if someone shechts on Shabbos, he can't eat it on that day. We're going to say that it's going to be Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, that it's talking about he shechted b'shogeg. And if you shecht b'shogeg, the person that shechted and the others cannot eat it that day. That's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion by shogeg. I haven't seen Rabbi Meir's opinion by mezid, but it's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion by shogeg. Yesterday we were discussing he becomes a mumar when he shechts, and that would only be applicable to mezid. That's because the Gemara is going to attempt to say that it's a different opinion. But right here we have an answer that he's talking about that he shechted b'shogeg. Why is it forbidden on that day? It's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, like Rav said, or Rabbi Yehuda holds, right, that it's also on that day. It's because he shechted b'shogeg, and it's forbidden on that day. Rabbi Yochanan HaSandler says, Rabbi Yochanan HaSandler was assumed that he was a shoemaker, a sandler. However, there was this fellow that came to Miami. I met him in the Shul Bal Harbor. He was writing books on Amiraim, and in there he had a philosophy. He had a very strong koilel philosophy that it's impossible that the Amiraim had jobs, or else they never would have been able to learn something. They were all in koilel the whole day, so he had to answer up all the people that the Gemara says they had jobs and how it wasn't really a job. So Rabbi Yeshua, it says that he was a blacksmith, and he had to fan for. So when it came to Rabbi Yochanan HaSandler, he found an opinion that says that he came from Alexandria. Sandler was really Alexandria, so which it could be. It says that, but it's taking away from the. When you have an agenda, everything gets. You have to put everything in.
How did he explain the Rambam?
I think it's not going to fit with the Rambam. That's the polar opposite. The Rambam holds that you need to have a job even before you're married.
Okay. The Rambam says that even Talmidei Chachamim have to chop wood and fetch water.
Okay, yeah. So Rabbi Yochanan HaSandler says, b'shogeg, Yeah, all of those things, all the work. B'shoigeg yoichal l'mitzvah Shabbos la'achirim. This is exactly the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda by Mezid. Remember what Rabbi Yehuda said by Mezid, that after Shabbos, the person that did it is never allowed to eat it, but everyone else can? Rabbi Yochanan says that by Shogeg. After Shabbos, the person that did it is never allowed to eat it, but everyone else can. Because he says that we make it, b'shoigeg, there's a knas on him b'shoigeg as well. However, b'shoigeg yechal mitzlachem v'leiloi, b'mezid lo yechal leilamis. B'mezid, no one can eat it. Not the person, not others. Leiloi v'leilachirim. Now, the Gemara is going to explain, or it's explained in other places, that it's impossible that there's a knas on other people. There's a fine on other people. They never did an aveira here. Why is there a fine on them? He says it's not a fine. He learns from a pasuk that Ma'aser Shabbos is asur. Any malacha that's done on Shabbos is forbidden if it's done b'mezid. It's actually a deraisa. The other opinions say that we're dealing with derabbanans. Rabbi Yochanan Sandler's mezid, he takes it from a pasuk. It's a deraisa. Okay, that's the Mishnah that we quoted, and now the Gemara says, why are you saying that it's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda and it's a shogeg and you're not allowed to eat it on Shabbos? And after Shabbos, someone that shechts is allowed to eat that food, and it's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. V'nuk me b'mezid for Rab Meir. Let's say it's Rab Meir's opinion, and the Mishnah is talking about hashechet b'Shabbos b'mezid. And we said already, Rabbi Yehuda and Rab Meir have the same opinion about Rabbi Yehuda's shogeg is Rab Meir's mezid, so it fits perfectly. Gemara says, don't think so. Don't think like that. Because it says it's similar to Yom Kippur. Ma Yom Kippurim, it doesn't say it's similar to Yom Kippur, it just has two cases. One is shechting on Shabbos and shechting on Yom Kippur. And we'd like for there to be symmetry in these cases. So, just like on Yom Kippur, just like on Yom Kippur, you can't eat it. Doesn't matter how it was done, you can't eat it. So to here, you can't eat it whether it's shogeg or mezid. Now, according to Rabbi Yehuda, b'shogeg you're not allowed to eat it, and according to and b'mezid you're not allowed to eat it. There's a little difference. After Shabbos, b'mezid is never allowed to eat it. Now, our Mishnah could be Rabbi Yehuda, because according to Rabbi Yehuda, both b'shogeg and b'mezid it's asur to eat for him and to others on Shabbos, and for him it's even asur after Shabbos.
This is shchitos kshera.
Shchitos kshera is referring to after Shabbos. That's Chia Barav's chiddush, that even though it's shchitos kshera, but on Shabbos itself you're not allowed to eat it. And whose opinion is that? They said it's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. So now we're explaining it's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion that says b'shogeg you're not allowed to eat it. We said, why do you have to say it's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion? Rabbi Meir has the same opinion as Rabbi Yehuda if it was done b'mezid, and so you're not allowed to eat it. B'mezid on Shabbos, it could be Reb Meir's opinion,
and
that would be
such a thing as shchitos kshera, and you still can't eat it.
Shchitos kshera, you would have to be able to eat it at some point. Here we're saying the shchita is kosher, just you have to wait till after Shabbos.
There's no such thing as a kosher shchita, and nobody could eat it. Shchita, you just can't eat it because of other reasons.
There is a possibility. I don't know when it would be said, but there is a possibility. What you would be saying in such a case is that it's not metama. That it's the shchitas kosher, it's not nevela, there's no tumah, but I don't know when.
Don't get into
okay,
it.
so there's actually a side benefit to saying that it's Reb Meir, because we have a stam mishnah. Stam mishnah's Reb Meir. It would be nice, but we're not saying that. We're saying it's Rabbi Yehuda, and we're saying that it's a shogeg. The mishnah's talking about a shogeg. So the reason why the Gemara explains is because we want to say that there's no difference between shogeg and mezid. Because since on Yom Kippur, if someone shechts on Yom Kippur, he can't eat it whether it was shechted b'shogeg or b'mezid, because it's Yom Kippur, it's a fast day. So too we want to say on Shabbos, he can't eat it either, whether it's shogeg, whether mezid. That would only be able to say if it's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Because according to Rabbi Meir, on Yom Kippur you're not allowed to eat, of course, but on Shabbos you should be allowed to eat it if it was done b'shogeg. It's only been mezid according to Rabbi Meir that you can't eat. So we're losing our symmetry in the two cases of Shabbos and Yom Kippur. So it's better for us to say it's Rabbi Yehuda.
Well, why in Yom Kippur you can't eat it?
Just because of the fast.
What if somebody is?
We're going to talk about a chayla tomorrow. Not tomorrow, on the next page,
Okay.
on the when we turn the page today. Mi matzis mukmisla b'shoigeg Rabbi Yehuda. Can you really say that it's shoigeg and it's Rabbi Yehuda? V'afal pisha mischayev b'nafshi ketani. You have to read the whole Mishnah. The whole Mishnah says, even though he's guilty of his life.
Huh?
That has to be amazing. So it's better if we say it's Rabbi Meir.
If it's shogeg,
No,
you're
no.
not 35 minutes.
Right.
5 minutes.
Not only it's
Shoigeg,
better,
you bring a carbon chatas.
the mazid, it doesn't fit like Rabbi Yehuda, does it?
B'mezid, it will fit with Rabbi Yehuda, but then it's for him it's also forever. And shchitas k'sher means have to mean for other people, but we would say
Right, okay. Fine, it does, okay.
So hachi kamar. This is what it means to say. Afal pida b'mezid mischayev b'nafshi. Even though this is such a serious sin, that if he did it b'mezid, he would forfeit his life.
Sure.
But so nevertheless, ahacha the b'shogeg shchitas k'sher.
So we're good. We got the view and it's
We've resolved it.
we matched the puzzle.
How do we do this? We read it in. We said, not that his act itself caused a capital punishment, not
If it
or
would've been
kares,
amazed,
not that.
right,
We're just
right,
saying
right.
that this type of act, if it would have been done b'mezid, it would have been so severe. But here he did it b'shoigeg. He's not allowed to eat it on that day, but afterwards it's kosher. That's what we're saying. The Gemara asks, "V'nukmik Rabbi Yechanan Asandler." We could say it's Rabbi Yechanan Asandler. Dama leishna b'shoigeg, v'leishna b'mezid, lo yachal. He says you can't eat it, and it's b'shoigeg and b'mezid. What's going to be b'shoigeg?
Yeah, that's
B'shoigeg. Well, there's going to be a problem because it's also for everyone on Shabbos, and after Shabbos, according to Rabbi Yechanan Sandler, if it's b'mezid, no one can eat it, and if it's b'shoigeg, it will be kosher. So we're talking about it's b'shoigeg, and
we just established that it's b'shogeg. Okay. So it's Rabbi Yechanan Sandler.
yeah, and we could say that if it's b'shoigeg, then it could be Rabbi Yechanan Sandler, and after Shabbos, it's mutter for others. So the Gemara says, Rabbi Yechanan Sandler kamaflik b'meitzi Shabbos la'acherim v'loi loi. Rabbi Yechanan Sandler would make a division. After Shabbos, others can eat it, but he can't. Tana didan shchitas ksherik tani. Our Tana says that it's kosher. And leishna loi v'leishna la'acherim. It's better to say that it's permissible to everyone after Shabbos. Who holds that? That would be Rabbi Yehuda's opinion by a shoigig. Okay. We've resolved this. It took us a day and a half, and we've resolved the Mishnah that we're talking about actually a shaygig. Therefore, Tosfos' question that if it's b'mezid, it should be usher because he's a mumar, wouldn't really be. The Tosfos' question is only on when the Gemara attempted to say that if it's b'mezid, that it should be kosher after Shabbos. How could the Gemara even attempt that? He's a mumar. That's Tosfos' question. He's asking on the attempt of the Gemara. Right? We said if someone that's a mumar, someone that's doesn't keep Shabbos, so his shechita is puzzle. So Tosfos was asking, how could he say the shechita is kosher? He's shechted on Shabbos. He's a mumar. So that was because the Gemara's attempt to try to say.
On Shabbos one time you become.
Oh, so that was Tosfos' answer. Tosfos' answer that even the Gemara's attempt wasn't the problem because it was only one time, or the other answers that we gave. Okay.
Didn't become a mumma till after the shechita.
No, after the shechita, that was the other answer again. Tani Tana Kamei de Rav. A Tana taught in front of Rav. Now, a Tana.
How does that match?
What?
Rav was at the end.
So I'll tell you. The
it says Rav Tana.
Rav Tana, because Rav is the border. However, even in the later Amiraim, there was always a Tana there. Now, a Tana doesn't mean a Tana from the Mishnayos. A Tana means that just like every Lahavdil, every university has a library. So amongst the Amiraim, every yeshiva had someone that memorized all the Baises and Mishnayos, and he was like the walking library.
So Rav was greater than him.
So Rav understood, and he would learn each one, but these people memorized it. They had like this photographic memory. It doesn't mean that they understood what they were saying, but they were able to memorize it. And Amira, or the teacher would explain what they would quote. That's how it would work.
So
They would
it's not
quote.
There was Moira Locha if the Rabbi.
No. They would
like,
quote. I think the Rav would say, say
ahead,
something. Start saying Perek Aleph.
Because how are you going to speak in front of your rabbi?
Right. No, he would start to say it, and
Rabbi.
and then the
Okay,
teacher would
yeah.
would explain what he was saying.
Here's a PowerPoint.
Now it's really good. You know, we have two opinions. There was a letter from Reb Shira Gaon to the people of Kirwan, how the Gemara was written. It's called the Geras Reb Shira Gaon, the letter of Reb Shira Gaon. He lived in the 900s or something. So we have two manuscripts of it. We have the French one and we have the Spanish one. And
Of the Sigeras.
Of the Sigeras. And actually, when you buy it, even the published edition has them side by side. So one of them says, the Spanish one says that Rebbe wrote the Mishnayos. The French one says that Rebbe edited the Mishnayos. And it's understood from that Rashi says that Rav Ashi wrote down the Mishnayos. And the Rambam writes that Rebbe wrote down the Mishnayos. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy. Did Rabbi Yehuda Anasi actually write it, or was it just edited? So let's say it was just edited, but it was still being memorized, then this concept of a Tana with the Mishnah, the Tana knew Bais also, but the Tana having this information memorized was important. So the Tana states in front of Rav, Hamavashal b'Shabbos b'Shogig yoichal. Someone cooks on Shabbos b'Shogig, he's allowed to eat it. B'Meizid lo yoichal. But if he does it b'Meizid, he shouldn't eat. Who's he saying like? Rabbi Meir, the first opinion, the lenient opinion. But Mashtikle Rav silences him. I don't know what he did to silence him. I don't know if it came along with the slap or no. He said, "No, don't say that." My time of Mashtikle. Why did Rav silence him? Eily mishum desvir like Rabbi Yehuda. Is it because Rav paskins like Rabbi Yehuda? The Gemara says, "V'tana Tana k'Rav Meir," and the Tana was paskin like Rav Meir. Mishum desvir like Rabbi Yehuda, because he holds like Rabbi Yehuda. Man de Tani k'Rav Meir mashtikle. If someone that learns like Rav Meir, you silence him. That's not how it works. There's a machlekes. He's saying a valid opinion. Rav doesn't paskin like that. V'oid mi savalak Rabbi Yehuda, and does Rav paskin like Rabbi Yehuda even? Does Rabbi Yehuda even paskin like Rabbi? Does Rav even paskin like Rabbi Yehuda? V'amar Rav Chanan Barami ki murder li Rav l'talmid murder li Rav Meir. That when Rav, if a student would ask him, I by mistake cooked on Shabbos, Rav would tell him it's fine, you can eat it, which is Rav Meir's opinion. L'chidarish bepirka. But when Rav would give his public address, Darish ka Rabbi Yehuda misham Am Yaretz. He would paskin like Rabbi Yehuda because of the Am Yaretz. In other words, he would give a stricter opinion. He didn't want anyone to take a leniency from his if it's b'shogeg you can eat it. Maybe they'll extend that. So v'chitei Tana b'pirkei Tana kamei. Maybe the Tana that's paskin like Rabbi Meir is saying this at the public address. And Rav doesn't want anyone to hear this. So, Atukuli Alma Latana Tzaisi, does everyone listen to the Tana? La Amira Tzaisi, they listen to the Amira. What exactly this means, it sounds like from Rashi, is that the Tanaim would sit there.
I don't think it was Tanaim of the Mishnah.
No.
The guys who memorized.
Yeah, the Tanaim, these students that would memorize, they would sit there and be learning by themselves and just saying, while meanwhile Rav would be giving a drasha. So who are they going to listen to? They're going to listen to the students, or they're going to listen to the lecture? At the same time that the lecture is going, that's what it sounds like from Rashi. They would be listening to the lecture. Now, the Amira, when it says over here the Amira is someone that Rav is called the sages of the Talmud are called Amirayim, but actually the Amira is a term that's used for the person that had a loud voice, and he would also translate it. There was a Meturgaman. So the teacher would like say it to him, and he would announce it to everyone. They didn't have a microphone system. So this guy would have a booming voice, and he would say it out loud. The Gemara discusses, if the teacher says, my father says, what the Amir is supposed to do. Is he supposed to say, my father says, or does he say that the father, you have to teach his father. There's discussions about how he's supposed to repeat things. Okay, so the Gemara is saying, you have the Tana is paskening like Reb Meir, and it's in public. And Rav is telling him, don't say that in public. People are going to hear, they're going to be lenient. So the Gemara says, what? They're going to be listening to the Tana? They're going to be listening to the Amira, the guy with the voice that's saying the whole drasha. So Amar of Menachem bar Yitzchak. Menachem bar Yitzchak explains what's happening here. Actually, it wasn't exactly Hamavashal b'Shabbos b'Shoigig. Really, Tana Shoichet Tana Kamei Derav. The Tana was teaching the halacha of Shoichet, which is our Mishnah. HaShoichet b'Shabbos. If someone if someone that shechts on Shabbos, b'Shoigig, by mistake, yoichal, he can eat it, b'mezid la yoichal. But he can't eat it if it's done b'mezid. That means that even on Shabbos he can eat it, b'shoigig, but b'mezid he can't eat it. This is the opinion of Reb Meir. Amalei, so Rav tells him, my daitach ke Reb Meir. What are you trying to say? That Reb Meir would allow this to be eaten on Shabbos? Ad kan like kashari Reb Meir ela b'mevashel deroya lakos. We know Reb Meir's opinion if someone cooks on Shabbos. B'shoigig you can eat it, b'mezid you can't. The Tana is coming to say that Reb Meir's opinion by cooking would be the same opinion by shechting. So when shechs b'shoigig on Shabbos, you could eat it. B'mezid you can't eat it until after Shabbos. Rav is saying, you think that they're exactly the same case? No. Reb Meir only said that by cooking. When it comes to shechting, Reb Meir would not say that. Why? Because by cooking, that food that was uncooked is still, you can still chew it. If you want to eat it, the term lakus is like an abnormal sort of eating. Lakus means to chew. But any sort of abnormal eating, Rashi says,
try to eat raw beans.
Yeah, you could, if you can eat it, or even raw meat, that you could eat it, it's just not the normal way of eating. It's edible, it's just not the normal way of eating. So that has the term lakus. So there, we're not going to consider it muktzah because it's edible. Theoretically, it's edible. Aval shoichet ein roi lakus loy. But the animal is not edible. Prior to the shechting. So when Shabbos comes in, if you have food that wasn't cooked, and when Shabbos came in and someone cooks it on Shabbos, so I don't have any problem of muktzah. All I have a problem is that it's cooked on Shabbos, or Meir says b'shagig you can eat it. But if I have an animal that wasn't shechted before Shabbos, that animal is considered muktzah, because when Shabbos came in, it had no use. So now that it's shechted, so you have to discuss sheichet b'Shabbos. But the laws of muktzah are still there. So Reb Meir wouldn't allow it to be eaten. In other words, there's another factor here that needs to be taken into account, even for Reb Meir's opinion that holds that mevashel b'shoigig you can eat it, but sheichet b'shoigig you have to factor in muktzah, and therefore Rav would say that it's not allowed. The Gemara asks, "V'masnisin d'sheichet hu." Our Mishnah was the Mishnah of sheichet. V'amar Rav Huna darash chiyah barav mishmei derav asur b'chilul yomi, and we said that it's not allowed to be eaten on that day. And v'nazben chavraya l'meima Rabbi Yehudahi, and that we said that who says you're not allowed to eat it that day? Rabbi Yehuda. Why Rabbi Yehuda? Oh, because Rab Meir Shari. Because according to Rab Meir, it would have been permissible on that day. According to Rab Meir, it would have been forbidden on that day as well, because you have to factor in muktzah. It would have been muktzah. So why did we have to say that our Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda? Even according to Rab Meir, it can't be eaten. Not because of a din of sheichet, but because it's muktzah. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it's a din in sheichet.
Nice.
According to Rab Meir, it's a din.
You could have both.
So yeah, but the Gemara is asking it as a question. Now, why did we have to say that it's Rabbi Yehuda? When he said it's Rabbi Yehuda, it sounds like according to Rab Meir it's permissible. Turns out it's not. So the Gemara explains. This is where you come in, Reb Chaim. Ki shari Rab Meir. When would Rab Meir say it's permissible? Okay, we're talking about someone that was sick, and he was sick by day, and so therefore, in Erev Shabbos, it's not muktzah. because it would have been shechted on Shabbos. Why? He was sick by day. Friday afternoon, you have a sick person.
What if he got better?
Oh, one second, the Gemara is going to discuss it. Okay, so you're sick by day. So we're going to take off the laws of muktzah, and now on Shabbos itself, we have a machlekes between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir of Sheichet b'Shabbos. One second, wait, hold on. There's a lot of questions. Ihachi, if so, my time with the Rabbi Yehuda. So then why does Rabbi Yehuda say that it's aser? My time with the Rabbi Yehuda aser. Gemara answers, okay, what did we just do? What we just did was, we just avoided the laws of muktzah, and we only have a law of Maisa Shabbos, work that was done on Shabbos. So according to Reb Meir, it should be permissible if there's no laws of muktzah here. Why is it not muktzah? Because Erev Shabbos, or Bein Hashmashos, there was a sick person in the house, and the animal could have been shechted on Shabbos. So it wasn't. Muktzah means that it's designated for non-use, that it's not going to be used. We put it aside. I'm not using this Shabbos. That's literally the word muktzah means that it's set aside, set away. So if there's no sick person in the house, so then the animal is set away. It's not going to be used. If there is a sick person in the house, it's not muktzah. It's not set because you may use it, because you may shecht it. The only problem is that the sick person got better right after Bein Hashmashos, and now he wasn't allowed to shecht. So now when he shechts on Shabbos, so according to Reb Meir, you're allowed to eat it if it's b'shaygig, and according to Rabbi Yehuda, you're not allowed to eat it till after Shabbos.
But no, Rabbi Yehuda and Meir, when it's a chayla, nobody argues about nothing.
Right.
So why do we need a Mishnah b'chlal to say it?
Okay,
Well,
so
we need a whole Mishnah and we have a whole machlokes. Everybody knows the laws of chayla.
Yeah.
It's
So here it's actually we're not dealing with the chayla here. We're dealing with someone that's healthy. The only problem was that then why is machlokes Reb Meir it's muktzah? Why is machlokes? The answer is that yes, there was a chayla, but there's no chayla anymore. There was a chayla just Bein Hashmashos.
But Reb Meir would say different.
No, if there was a chayla Bein Hashmashos, then he's better. And someone shechts on Shabbos, so then Reb Meir would say it's permissible to eat if it was shechted b'shaygig, and Rabbi Yehuda would say it's not permissible to eat till after Shabbos.
Reb Meir would also say that it's not permissible to eat until after Shabbos.
No, Reb Meir holds a sheichet hamavashel b'Shabbos b'shaygig is mutter. So sheichet should be the same. Chayla shehivri would say it's mutter. The whole reason why Reb Meir would say no is because of muktzah. We've avoided the muktzah because he was a chayla Bein Hashmashos. So it wasn't huktzah. It wasn't set aside. Now we have just a regular household with no one that's sick in it, and so in shechts we have a machlekes Reb Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Yochanan Samblai.
And so then that means Rabbi Yehuda would say that there's breira.
No, it's not a din in breira. Here it has to do with Maisa Shabbos. It's a machlekes about Maisa Shabbos.